Okay. Hi. Sorry about yesterday. We had a big problem with the internet, so we're back tonight. And I know it's last minute, so thank you so much. So I'm just gonna share my screen so you can see. Let me go back. Okay. So we'll run through these as it's Friday. And there's those who are present, we can potentially speak to you. So YSL, obviously, YSL has a history of fashion illustration. Yves Saint Laurent was an illustrator, and obviously when he was working for Christian Dior, his main skills were illustration. So it's great to sort of work with such a great iconic brand like Yves Saint Laurent. Um, First of all, Janet Erie. This is, I think, Janet's first time doing this. These were really nice illustrations, deep pen drawings, which is quite nice to see. Has a real interesting flavour to it. Some interesting mark making, and it looks like everybody was inspired by the Pierre Mondrian, um, I guess, graphic dress. It seems like it's still an iconic piece that represents Yves Saint Laurent. So this was a great piece, and I liked the lighting and the sort of mark making on here with the sort of colouring pencil. So there's some interesting things going on here, and people are really looking for these sort of detailed drawings. They want to see drawings that aren't so digitalized. I think that's the feedback that we're sort of getting now because of AI doing so much. There's sort of a drawback now. So interesting to see. Susanna Gomez. Susanna Gomez, some great little drawing here, quite whimsical, as I'd say, almost quite narrative based, and using and mixing all the different color ranges and mixed media. So it was quite nice to see. This was a really sort of playful piece, and I thought this was quite an interesting piece. And these sort of like deep hues. The deep hues reminded me more of Tom Ford, but I know Tom Ford was heavily influenced by Yves Saint Laurent. So these sort of rich golds and purples, you can see how Tom Ford's moved on from the sort of inspiration of this sort of desirable deep colours. So a lovely piece, Susanna. Valia. These were really interesting pieces. I thought they were quite. It was nice to see you do some quick pieces. Uh, and I think a tough one with fashion figures is sometimes if you draw them in proportion, they can feel a bit small. So I think I would probably make that drawing just a little bit taller, elongate the figure. We usually reference Nine Heads as a book for fashion designers and fashion illustrators. So I think it would be quite nice to think about elongating the figure. Um, and then the one on the right, we spoke about recently about doing more tonal work. So it's really nice to see this sort of tonal piece with the yellow YSL bag and that little hint of um, red on the bag was really nice. I thought that was a lovely piece. So a real good move forward and I think an interesting three-quarter pose as well. That's a nice thing to see when illustrating. So Valio, really nice. And I like these quick, fast, and using negative and positive spaces to make the silhouette. A really great piece. So well done there. A new illustrator, Teresa, recently applied for the awards, and I this sort of mix of craft, drawing, technical detail. This was a fantastic drawing, and the leather jackets are just amazing. Beautiful pieces. Um, and the gold around the necklace. So amazing highlights and details. So Teresa, this is a beautiful piece, and on that grey coloured card as well, they really sing off the page. So thanks for this. Uh, Tamio, um, probably you were here yesterday, but we missed this. And I thought this was a really interesting piece, and you made an animation. We can watch a little bit of the animation. And if you think about this being shown as a back piece on a wall, really nice. Tamio, lovely. I thought that piece was excellent, and you're really showing your animation skills now. I'm thinking along this very graphic animation mark, very, we're seeing almost a bit of this, but really nice, Tammy. I thought this was great and a real switch up from your other work. So I wonder because obviously you might be using After Effects, I'm assuming, but it would be nice to see how if the black lines were more brush marks. But I still think this graphic mark making is excellent. So well done, Tamio. Nina, I can see Nina, you're on here. You went down a
Yes. Hi.
more of a cheeky route this time,
Yeah.
and it has a sort of coloring pencil effect.
Yeah, I always try to not to let it look so much digital.
Good. And did you do this still on the iPad?
Is
Can
it
you hear
is
me?
it my internet that's so bad or is it I don't
No,
know.
no. Did you do it? Did you
I
do
can't
it?
hear you.
Can you hear
Sorry.
me? Did you do it on the iPad?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's starting to look really sort of like pencil color, and you've
Yeah.
got this. It almost looks the colors are so vivid. You're getting a real sort of technique now. You're like on the glove. You've drawn this white shape, and then you've colored the spaces in between. That's a real. That's a real trick, and I think it's a nice one. So, and the way you've done around the base of the top, this really has a sort of coloring pencil feel to it, and it feels quite spontaneous. So it's really nice how you've done it, and I feel like you're starting to get somewhere. And I felt like your drawings of shoes were really nice as well. I still love them shoes. So if you can apply this sort of way of drawing more and more and more, and it feels very pencil mark making. Have you tried to showcase it as you've drawn it as an animation? Because on the iPad you can time lapse it.
As an animation, no, and I never tried it. No.
Well, because on Procreate you can do a time lapse, so it'd be interesting for people to see the process that you went through drawing this design.
Yeah, yeah. I always have it on. Yeah, I can show it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice because some of the people have fed back to me, not particularly about you, but other people saying, "Oh, well, was this done on AI and is this computer based?" Because if it's got a digital feel to it, and my feedback to them was just show a time lapse of your
Okay.
work being made, and then that stops all of them discussions.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I
Hmm?
don't feel that yours has an AI feel. So I think you're okay. But it was just, I remember someone else had a problem and I was like, just show a time lapse. But it would be nice to see a time lapse of this and you could kind of zoom in and out of different areas while showcasing the time lapse. It'd be good to see.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And
Sure.
and I and I think if you were doing an editorial, it might be nice to do a series of these. Because we're trying to think about maybe doing postcards for London Fashion Week, and this would make a really nice postcard.
Yeah, I was also thinking because it's a little bit pink and he had his bows,
Yeah,
Yves Saint Laurent. Yeah,
yeah,
he had some really nice pieces around that.
yeah. No, no. It honestly, I think this is a great one, and it looks like coloring pencil. So you're starting to nail it a little bit, and it's not looking so. Because some of the really early works that you sent me looked super digital, and now
Yeah.
you're really shifting away from that and thinking about. And also, Nina, like I said to Tamio. It would be good to see, how are you trying to get work from what you're doing? And because where are you based, Nina?
And Stuttgart.
In Stuttgart. So there's a lot of live event illustration work there. You could easily do some on your iPad.
On my iPad, yeah.
Yeah, so I would start reaching out to brands, local, if there's shopping malls and places like that. That's how lots of like, if we think of many of the illustrators who are working around them sort of areas within Belgium, Germany, Holland, all of them sorts of places, they're commissioning a lot of illustration live. And I think, and that could be on the iPad as well. So you don't necessarily need to turn up with your coloring pencils. So it's kind of thinking about a process, which is, could you draw something on an iPad and can you print it out? You can buy a small little printer,
Mm-hmm.
really little, and they print postcard size. And it might be good to do a few tests.
Ah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Nina, excellent. I'd
Okay.
just like to see you print them out and see how they look.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Lovely. Thank you. So, Sophia, this was a lovely drawing. Obviously we met at London Fashion Week, so it was so good to see how you drew live, and it's good to see this sort of like really powerful face has a sort of very Renaissance feel to it, and I feel that capturing these sort of portraits that feel sort of like something from the past or something that's quite timeless really has a historical context to it. So, Sophia, this was a great drawing. This one was quite playful and it reminded me of funny you're on here, Nina. It reminded me of early Nina work where there was lots of sort of digital, lots of color, lots of light, but this sort of mix of sort of steppling effect with a brush and almost a very digital. So I can imagine this on a postcard or something like that. I think it really works well. So I think this is a lovely piece. So well done. Kahori, shame you're not here today, but I know we missed you yesterday. But I feel that the one on the left and the right, I think, feel really more complete than the one in the middle. The one on the right with the typography on the dress, I think, was really nice. Um, and it's got that sort of movement. It's very dynamic, and using collage on there as well was quite clever. So I like that sort of interplay of photographic collage and ink. We don't see much of that. We mainly see people try and draw everything. But I think mixing the mediums from collage to drawing is really nice. And it's a lovely pose, and then beautiful red lips are really good. And the suit with the pinstripe, how you've drawn all the details, really good, Kahori. And I think these were the two strong ones. I think the one in the middle I'm not too sure about, and you had another one, but I think the left and the right are the ones that really stood out to me as the strongest. Deleter, I think you're starting to really crack the code with your drawings now. These are great, and I feel that what you're doing is starting to shape and have a real deleter feel. And I feel like, where next, what you're going to do. I'm really interested to find out more about the future of where you see your work. Now you're graduating from university and you're moving forward. Is where does your work fit in within the commercial world? How are you going to gain more work? We know you've been doing lots of stuff with markers and pens, but I'd be interested to see where this sort of goes forward. So, delete excellent work. And Kazmak, um, I think this is one of my favorite ones that you've done. This was a really interesting composition, a bit different for you because they tend to be a little bit more square on, where here we've got the dynamic shapes of the legs and the forms. You've got foreshortening on the foot and the leg, which is quite a tough task to take on. And the face is looking at us. You've done lots of profiles, so it's nice that you took on a face looking forwards. I probably would have made some of the lines a little bit darker coming forward, so that them two legs come forward a bit more towards me. So in photography and in drawing, the process is you're trying to create depth of field, and having heavier lines or heavier marks that lead into lighter marks. that gives a sense of depth as well. So something so simple like mark making could really shape a drawing and change the way that it's going to go. And I think that that was it. I know Christmas is upon us, so everyone is super busy at the moment, and we did a few, and we've had the awards, and we've had so many things going on. So, and you know, a big apology about yesterday. We've changed internet provider, so we had a lot of problems, but you know, we're back up and running. So, thanks a lot, and Nina, have a lovely Christmas and keep
Yes,
drawing.
you too.
And
Yeah, I'm doing.
I'll see you in January.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Have a nice break and relax and do lots of sketches.
Sketches, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Good. Right, Nina.
Good.
Thank you so much
Bye.
and have a good evening. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye.